infatuated with the in-between, the ups, the downs, the curves and the rounds. I'll bring it to your city or your hometown. I'll go back in time when the feeling was fine, when funkin' was legal and it wasn't a crime. Party people lined up and down the way, a bigger celebration than your birthday. Funkin' up the neighborhood, I felt the fool 'cause the funkin' was good. Funkin' in the city, funkin' up in the woods. Funkin' up the neighborhood, funkin' up the neighborhood. I felt the fool 'cause the funkin' was good. Funkin' in the city, funkin' up in the woods. Funkin' up the neighborhood. And I have seen the world pristine, funk you up in the bushes, funk you down in the trees. Now look around, all the frowns, the yellow, the white, the red and the brown. And keep in mind, it never costs a dime, 'cause funkin' is free, I remember the time. Now look today, the streets are gray, time to take it back to yesterday. Funkin' in the neighborhood, I felt the fool 'cause the funkin' was good. Funk you in the city, funk you up in the woods. Funkin' up the neighborhood, funkin' up the neighborhood. I felt the fool 'cause the funkin' was good. It was good in the city, funk you up in the woods. Funkin' up the neighborhood. Funkin' up the neighborhood, I felt fool 'cause the funkin' was good. Funk you in the city, funk you up in the woods. Funkin' up the neighborhood, funkin' up the neighborhood. I felt fool 'cause the funkin' was good. Funk you in the city, funk you up in the woods. Funkin' up the neighborhood, funkin' up the neighborhood. I felt fool 'cause the funkin' was good. Funk you in the city, funk you up in the woods. Funkin' up the neighborhood, funkin' up the neighborhood. I felt fool 'cause the funkin' was good. Funk you in the city, funk you up in the woods. Funkin' up the neighborhood.
And we're live.
And we're back.
Welcome to the Underdog Journey. I'm Wes. This guy is David. And we went fishing, and I think we won. We won at fishing last week.
But
You and I discovered the way
We
to
really
win a
dove
fishing
fishing.
competition. Now, you need to redefine what you mean by winning, but we won the fishing competition, in my opinion.
hold on, technical errors.
Uh-oh. Oh, no. Technical errors.
Technical errors.
Ah,
For
David.
some reason, it just flat out switched over. I'm like, you know what? I'm not going to fight with it anymore. I'll put the headphones on, even though it messes with my beautiful hair, and just go with it. All right, so back to where we were.
Yeah.
Did we really go fishing? We
Well,
went
look.
to a fishing location.
We were at a charity fishing competition, and in my opinion, we won. We didn't necessarily win at fishing.
Oh, we
per se,
absolutely won.
But we won.
We beat everyone there. There was just no hand. I mean, there was just no. It was absolutely no competition. We absolutely slayed everyone.
Yeah. So explain how you win when everybody else
So
is trying to fish.
This is how you win. Everybody else is out there around this lake baking in the sun. Now, as you can see, we got some sun
We got a
too,
little bit
but
of
we got
sun.
the sun that we wanted as we walked around. And we were in under a canopy for a good part of the time as well. So we brought a canopy.
Mm-hmm.
And we still sat and chilled under the canopy out of the sun. And I'm in one chair on the right side. Wes is in a chair over on the left side, as we normally are, because I'm deaf in my right ear. So I keep people to my left. Right? So inside of this said little canopy thing, there's a little table between us. And on that table, there are not one, but two humidors with cigars in them. And we're sitting there just smoking the cigars, kick back. We have our fishing poles. Literally, did you ever actually put yours together?
Mine never actually made it together.
I put mine together, and I put some string out there for a little bit, but not actually into the water. But when everybody started like stepping over it, like I was actually fishing, I reeled it back up the 6 feet of line that I had out. Everybody kept stepping over it like I was actually out there fishing. Now we did it appropriate, actually, a far more of the smack talking than we should have been allowed because we weren't actually fishing, but we absolutely hands down won.
Oh yeah,
I mean there was just no competition. I mean some other people caught some fish, but we sat in the shade and smoked cigars.
And that's how you win when everybody else is trying to fish. You get a nice canopy, some comfy chairs, some cigars. The only thing that would have made it better is some adult beverages. That would have made it way better.
The frosty beverages, speaking of, would have been nice. Would have really, if we'd have done that, I'd been like 11-3. Let's go 11-11. Let me run back out to the cigar shop to a fine tobacconist and grab a couple more sticks. But I think we could have made it.
So explain what happened this weekend. What was the deal? What was going on this weekend?
Well, this weekend we had, which you guys should know because we've talked about it quite a bit on the show here, was our, I guess now we'd call it our annual, seeing as that we've now had two of them, our annual charity fishing tournament to benefit the Easter Seals of Central and Southern Ohio. Mm-hmm. And we had 10 Pay Lake YouTubers plus the Underdog Journey out there pushing on this. We had over 100 registered fishermen. There were plenty of fish caught, a lot of people out there doing videos, tons of content created for us, YouTuber people. Yeah. Can't believe I'm considered a YouTuber, but yeah, for us YouTuber people. But more importantly, we raised, what was it, $6,000? It was around $6,000.
Right around $6,000 that was raised, which is amazing. Last year we raised about $4,700. This year was right around $6,000, and that's incredible.
Yeah.
So our original goal was $10,000. However, there was actually one oversight that I next year we got a plan for. Apparently, a different Pay Lake in the relative area was having another event at the same time. And that took away from this.
Massive event. They were having a huge event.
And we didn't know about it. That's the problem.
Doubled our number of registered fishermen had that tournament not been going on. Mm-hmm. So all in all, I mean, it was still a great success. And we know that look out for that next year. And, we also know that if we don't, that we can say, hey, we are going to be donating between $5,000 to $6,000 to the Easter Seals of Central and Southern Ohio. Without that, we know that we can raise that money, and we should be able to do that every year. And it's a great cause, so I don't see any reason not to go ahead and just say, "Hey, we're going to do this. We're going to do this until we can't."
Yeah, and that $6,000 goes a long way. Like that's a lot of money that can do a lot of good in that community. So what we learned is there is this range of money that we can raise with this type of event. Now what that tells us is next year we can raise that amount of money. Plus, if we do something else on top of it, or strategize in a slightly different way, we can make more. We just need to adapt, to overcome, to meet that next step goal. So that's actually something that we can take away from this as another win.
Yeah. So I see we got some viewers in here right now. Why don't you drop in the comments so we know you're here. We can talk to you guys, say hi, and we're actually kind of trying to play tonight a little bit of flexible because we don't know whether certain of the fishermen are going to be coming on to talk about the event and kind of give their perspective on it. So we've kind of prepared two shows in one tonight, just in case. So that we can flip either we're going to our topic, our content topic, or we're going to be over on our talking about the fishing. So yeah, Tyler Jackson just popped in there, said hello. Appreciate you. Thank you much for listening.
Tyler Jackson, I see in your profile photo, you got a giant fish. Is that one that you caught at a Pay Lake? You got to tell us because that's a pretty good sized fish. So apparently the biggest fish that was caught this Sunday was 38.6 pounds. Something like that.
I think 38.6, 38.4, something like that was what won our part of the tournament.
That's like the size of my daughter. That's a big fish.
It is a decent size. I mean, it's a large fish. I mean,
well, I mean, it's chump change compared to what we do, but
well, yeah, I mean, it was nothing compared to the Monte Cristo New York edition that you were smoking. Or
thank you for that, by the way.
Let's see what else. I think we had the Cohiba there. I mean, there Cohiba. You and I caught some really good ones.
There were some very good ones caught and smoked that day.
Yes, yes, very. The smoking on them was perfect.
But all in all, honestly, the real winner was the Easter seals because man. It's it's incredible seeing so many people get involved to raise funds for an organization like that. So
yes, absolutely.
We're really, really honored to be able to be a part of something like that. That was a lot of fun.
Yeah, it was very cool.
Okay, so Tyler Jackson says yes, it's his personal best, 63.2 pounds. He has a YouTube channel called Pig Dusters. Hey, that's who you are. Tyler Jackson,
all right, yeah.
Pig Dusters.
All right, now we know who he is.
So David, we did learn one thing.
Videos. I'm sorry, go ahead.
No, we did learn one thing. We learned what a pig duster was. So we're going around the lake. We're talking to the different YouTubers, and he tells us about his channel, the Pig Dusters. We're like, what does that mean? He's like, when you catch a pig, and we're like a pig?
No, we don't.
Like an animal?
We're like, yeah. What the hell are you talking about, man?
So apparently, when there's a big fish caught, it's a big pig. So you say there's a big pig, and they're the pig dusters because they dust them. That's all the feedback that I have.
I mean, I guess duster is, they're just out there just pulling. All they pull is the big pig. The hashtag fish, I guess.
Yeah, but so when we were talking to them,
we had some really good names that came out of there. There was 50 channels called Schwarpen something or other.
Schwarpen,
and well, basically, apparently, it's the noise you make when they try to set the hook and just schwarp. So
may the schwarp be with you.
Yeah, exactly. I said, if you guys don't have that on a T-shirt by the end of the weekend, I'm going to be disappointed in you. May the Schwarp be with you. I mean, that needs to be on T-shirt.
I would buy that T-shirt.
For all you Schwarping guys out there, I better see this.
Exactly. Look, maybe we should make that shirt for next year. Yeah. Underdog Journey. May the Schwarp be with you.
Yeah, I think we can do that. Get it on there.
Let's make it happen. So Tyler, you brought up a good point, though. You were there with a couple other guys doing some fishing, and we when we were talking to the other YouTubers, you guys have teams. Like, you guys actually do this as teams. And it was pretty interesting seeing how you guys all, create these channels and create content together versus the typical YouTuber mentality of it's kind of a solo game. So that actually brought up something really interesting that I think we should talk about in the near future.
Here I'm like, oh, you're over there talking to him. I'm just sitting here waiting for him to reply.
Yep. No, he's. I'm talking to him. He's listening, but yep. No. He's not on the air here.
Yeah. Well, you know what? Sometimes I'm smart. Sometimes not so much.
It's been a long week so far. So David.
Yeah.
David. The real priority of the show, though, I got to ask you, what are you drinking?
It is clean out the beer fridge day. It is clean out the beer fridge. Now there are a couple of actual Christmas specific cotton can. I don't know what the hell's over there, but there's a couple of them, and I've still got that bottle of Wailing Wench that honestly I don't think I'll ever drink. I think I'll probably dump it out, and then it'll go on the shelf here with the small little medicine bottle growler that I've got here from the Widowmaker Brewing.
Yeah, I like those little medicine bottle style growlers.
These little ones here, they're pretty cool. So I'm gonna put that back there, and so I'll probably take the Welling winch and kind of do the same thing with it and put it back there so we can use it.
Mm-hmm.
But for tonight, we had a couple, and I got these late in the year last year. So I'm drinking some old beer tonight because I want to clean my fridge out. So we got a couple of Sam Adams summer ales here. Mm-hmm. I mean, come on, man. That's just a good refreshing beer. And I don't think I'm gonna start with that. I've got one of the Devil's Backbone Oktoberfest, which, I mean, come on, if you know me for more than 5 minutes, you probably know that Oktoberfest is my favorite beer. Absolutely my favorite. Of course,
yeah,
beer.
I love.
Devil's Backbone does a pretty good job. You actually had one of these in your Brewdog Advent beer calendar.
I did. What do you got?
Hellcat.
Nice. That's their collaboration
this is the Iron Maiden collaboration.
Yeah. Which is super cool. Like, as a brewery, you should always collaborate with Iron Maiden.
You should. I would go with Metallica.
Or Metallica. Well, yeah, you are a fan. You got the things.
I mean, I couldn't tell you what type of guitars Iron Maiden plays. Probably electric. That's a joke. It's definitely
well.
electric.
Look, we know that James Hetfield is a huge fan of our show. So
absolutely.
So Jimmy,
and I, man,
next time Jimmy, next time you watch the show, call in. We'll put you on. We'll find out what kind of beer you like, and we will get you a collaboration. We'll work it out for you.
Dude.
What?
See that right there absolutely lets you know that Wes doesn't know Jimmy Hetfield.
He doesn't go by Jimmy?
Well, A, yes, and B, recovering alcoholic.
Oh, womp womp. So Jimmy, next time you fall off the wagon, give us a call.
Oh my Lord!
It's getting dark here. It's getting dark. Let's get back on some sort of a topic here.
But the one that I'm drinking first tonight is this. Actually, came from my cruise I took earlier this year. I paid for it, and I was like, "Damn it, I'm not going to ditch it." So I kept it and I snuck it off the boat. And it's the big oil can of Foster's. Now,
nice.
I like drinking the oil can of Foster's because it actually looks like a normal can of beer in my hand.
In your hand, sure.
Here. Okay, so just that's a can of beer.
Okay,
right.
That looks like a can of beer. That looks like you're holding a Red Bull can. This looks like a can. Well, most people don't have elephantiasis of the hands.
I guess. So anyway,
yeah,
there is that. So I know you have really changed it up on us tonight.
I did. Well,
and you were going to go in and tell me something special about it, and then you're like, wait. I'll talk about it on the show.
Not even something special. Not really. You talked it up too much now. But
it's what I do. I'm the hype guy.
So I have a bit of a sweet tooth right now. I was feeling kind of like I need dessert. So I decided I'd go with a whiskey sour. I'm drinking whiskey sours tonight. I was actually debating doing a White Russian, but like that seems like too much work to do while I'm trying to talk at the same time. And actually doing a proper whiskey sour would also be too much work. However, instead of using all of the normal ingredients like you should, lemon juice, simple syrup, all the fun stuff, I'm just using sour mix. So I'm just pouring sour mix into my whiskey and putting a few fancy cherries in there, and that's my whiskey sour. So,
ain't nothing wrong with that.
Nothing wrong with that at all.
Yeah, see, John Calendar had the. You don't have to put this comment up on the screen, by the way. Did make the catch that Jim Hetfield is a recovering alcoholic.
Look, Jimmy Hetfield, if you're watching the show, I apologize. I didn't know. And for all of you who did know, I apologize. For all of you who are recovering alcoholics or in some sort of a treatment for that affliction, good luck to you. I don't know what else to say.
I think we put West on the spot tonight. It's good. It's good stuff.
I'm on the defense now. Okay.
Oh, there we go. So there we go. See, now even with that, so there we go. So even with that can, that's all it fills up in my cup.
Australian for beer.
Apparently, if you travel down there, they're not. I mean, this is like Bud Light to them. So they're just like kind of like you and I. We would rather go off and pick up a more unique beer, something that's not big brewery. That's kind of their big brewery stuff. So
yeah. So
that means
apparently,
it's not bad.
so apparently Australia does have a lot of really good craft breweries. My current wife and I used to watch a lot of those shows where the guys travel around the world and have all the unique drinks from the different areas. And man, I could tell you some stories. I won't tell you the stories here on this show because they're not all family friendly. But there are some interesting craft breweries out there. We got to go to Australia and try some. So,
okay. Next
That was
week,
a-
the
that was a hard
Underdog Journey
sell.
travels to Australia.
the Underdog Journey down under.
I'm not going to try to do accents tonight. I just don't think I've got it in me tonight.
No. Well, neither do I. So, but you know what? Somebody has to. All right. So, I don't think any of the YouTuber guys are gonna get online with us tonight. If they do, hop on, guys. You're more than welcome. But we do actually have kind of a double show just in case they didn't come on, which is something that actually touches really close to what we were doing building up to the fishing competition, which is content marketing.
Oh, my GoPro's out there. It was a great time to hold up my GoPro and talk about all the footage we got this weekend, but my GoPro's up on the not the island in the kitchen, but the peninsula in the kitchen. So
Well, you did a lot of. So we both did a lot of filming at the fishing.
Yeah, we did.
And we need to edit
Yeah, we
this
did.
into a good video and post it.
Yeah. So they have already been reaching out to me going, hey David, Dave, look here, Dave. Have you guys posted any videos yet? Have you posted any of the footage yet? And I don't have the heart to tell them, but I'm going to tell them right now. So John Calendar says OnlyFans. We might start an OnlyFans page, but apparently OnlyFans is not just for that. It's for other things as well.
Should we start an OnlyFans page and it's like just us like just drinking beer? It's just like just drinking beer, watching TV.
If you guys are going to vote, I'm gonna log off real quick and then just go vote and then come back. Because I'd be all right with just doing a show, just sitting here drinking beer and just talking about stuff. I mean, that's that. No one wants to see that. Anna Calendar.
Anna, come on. I expect more from you.
You would tune in, number one. You would have an annual subscription to our OnlyFans page.
It's true, Anna. Come on, admit it.
Yes. Just to sit and watch us drink and talk crap. I mean, with absolutely no. Okay, so you have actually sat and drank with us many times, so you know what we are like normally.
Hey, by the way, Brandon
Henderson, and how many things that we have to stay away from on this show.
By the way, Brandon Henderson, I'm putting your comment up on the screen here. Nobody wants to see that. I'm not even gonna say it. Nobody wants to see it. Brandon,
I'm gonna wait till that comes off my screen before I drink that beer because
Exactly. But you know what? That would actually be a really interesting piece of content marketing, right? So just doing something ridiculous like that, starting an OnlyFans page of literally just two middle-aged dudes sitting there drinking beer, just doing like nothing.
Yeah.
And then like when it bombs hilariously, the bomb, the fact that you built this whole thing up and you didn't do anything with it, like that alone is a piece of content. Just the process of doing it.
Yes.
So I don't think that's a bad idea.
I like all the stuff you're saying. It's a great idea.
Right? Why not? And look, if a few people subscribe, I've heard that ladies love the dad bod, and I think we can accommodate that.
Yep, got it.
Yep. David's got the dry heaves now. Okay, that was a step too far. Okay.
That was a covered up burp, and got the dad bod. I can snore. I mean, old dude stuff I've got down pat, man.
Yeah.
Give me an early bird special and let me go to bed. That is actually, anybody who knows me knows that that's not true, man. Because I will burn the candle. I literally burn the candle at both ends.
Yeah, David, I'm the one who tells you, no, I'm not staying out that late.
Yeah.
In fact, literally everybody tells you, David, no, I'm not staying out that late.
2 a.m. is not that late, by the way. 4 a.m. is starting to push the limits.
Well,
and we don't have to be up till like 5 or 6 in the morning. It'd be fine.
Well, it is late when you have a 2.5 hour drive in the morning.
Oh, dude. Yeah, The turnaround back was what got me this past trip. So John Calendar actually makes a good point, and that would be something that would actually be a great topic for a show.
Talking about Firefest and the
Firefest.
marketing that went up to that, dude.
Yes,
we should do a whole. We could do a whole series of shows just on Firefest.
I mean, I wouldn't put that guy in charge of managing anything, but he's pretty damn good at promoting and marketing.
Look, I think you ought to hire him for your team, David. Just on sales, sales and promotions. Sales and promotions, like that dude. Look, he's broken several federal laws, but he's good at what he does.
Yeah, I mean, that's what I'm saying. You don't put him in charge. Don't put him in kind of where he can manage anything. But just sales and promotion. I mean, I think marketing promotion. I think it'd be well.
Yeah. So for those of you who don't know, Firefest was first of all, there's a couple amazing documentaries right now on Firefest. But basically, this dude, I don't remember his name. You can Google it. It's up to you.
I can Google it.
He worked with who is the rapper? Some rapper. I don't even know the rapper.
Ja Rule.
Ja Rule. He worked with Ja Rule. I call him Jarul. He worked with Jarul, and they hyped up this music fest that was going to be on like Al Capone's private island, like in the Caribbean or something like that.
Al Capone. Come on.
Was it Al Capone?
No.
Which one? It was one of those gangsters.
No. It was supposed to be on an island that was used by the drug lord down in South America, and I can't remember the name off the top of my head, so I'm not going to say Al Capone.
It was some drug lord. I'm thinking of, I was thinking of Scarface, but it's not Scarface. Anyway,
all right.
on this private island in the Caribbean, and they were going to build this huge music festival, and they built this thing up, and they had, it was like between $5,000 and $15,000 a ticket, like up, sky's the limit. They were going to have all this stuff. All these huge bands, they told people had been booked for this event when all the bands were like, yeah, we're not going to this thing. A lot of the bands did back out, especially once they got set up. Once they got there and seen what it was. Pablo Escobar. Pablo Escobar. Brandon Henderson and John said at the same time, Pablo Escobar.
Did they? Oh, I had another screen up. I was looking into the thing here, and it was talking about Billy McFarland is the name I'm looking for. Billy McFarland.
He's the guy. And so they raised millions and millions and millions of dollars for this festival that essentially never happened. That never got to happen. They tried to scramble at the last minute to put this thing together, and it's a whole huge mess. There's people, literally hundreds and hundreds of people, with no place to stay, nothing to eat, and it's this huge debacle. And this Billy McFarland guy just flat out lied to everybody and defrauded the entire thing. Took millions and millions of dollars. He might be in prison right now, actually.
That's good. You know what? That's what the rules are for.
But prior to this, he actually also had a private label credit card called Magnesis. And it's funny, I actually remember that word, nothing else.
Pablo Escobar, Magnesis.
Yeah, a private label credit card called Magnesis, which was like a membership thing. It got you discounts different places and worked as like a cash debit card sort of thing. And he defrauded that company as well. So man, this dude. Even after, when he was under federal investigation for the Fire Festival thing, he was actually using his email list he built up from that thing to sell like phony concert tickets to people on that list. So man, this dude, he made so much money, and he's like the best, possibly one of the best marketers in the world, frankly.
Yeah, I mean,
to make this happen.
Absolutely. I mean, he who must not be named did terrible things. But great.
Yeah, we're not going to mention that name because Facebook will kick us off again.
I was talking about Voldemort, but it was a Harry Potter reference.
Well, I was talking about Voldemort too, only by the slightly different real-world name.
Oh, wait.
Exactly. We've all seen him sipping the water.
Oh, wait, that's the water's over here. I got to do the water one. Okay, there we go.
Hilarious.
That was in your promo video for the fishing tournament, by the way.
It was.
It was well placed. So just because I know the fans out there are just dying to know, but McFarland is currently being held at the Milan Federal Corrections Institute in Milan, Michigan. Inmate number 91186-054. He is scheduled to be released in August 30th of 2023, which is really isn't, in the scheme of things of what he done and the millions that he defrauded people of, not really spending all that much time in prison.
It's coming up, and look, he's probably going to look for a job. David, you might need somebody on your team in promotions and sales.
I'm just saying.
I can't think of a better person.
You give the guy a certain box, and the problem is he's got to change his name. There's just no way.
Oh yeah,
there's no way.
Yeah, no, 100%. Yeah.
I mean, although he comes out and if he's as smart as I really think the guy is actually quite smart.
He'd have to be.
He's got a TV. He's got a mini series or a TV show or a documentary.
Oh yeah,
right now.
If he's not talking to Netflix for a miniseries right now, I can't imagine he's not, frankly. Because think of that, a miniseries,
bleeding subscribers. Why not throw a con artist on there for their content?
Look, think about this: miniseries, book deal, right? Movie rights, right there. Start a podcast for Pete's sake. Tell me you can't monetize that. I'm just saying. So, I mean, that dude, for the rest of his life, because of the crimes he committed, will be rolling in it for the rest of his life. It's just nature, and that's apparently we're doing something wrong or right. I don't know, but we're doing something.
Well, we're not defrauding people or embezzling millions of dollars, and most importantly,
which is why we don't have a Netflix special yet, David.
Which is why we're not serving time, and also not serving time in prison. So you know what? Pros and cons. And cons.
Ooh, that's the name. That's the name of his podcast.
That's the name
Pros
of his podcast.
And cons. And convicts. Pros and cons. That's good. David, you should be in sales
I
marketing.
want a nickel every time he says it.
Look, Billy McFarland, we know you watch the show. You need to pay us royalties for the name of your podcast now. So,
yes.
Pros and cons. I like it.
All right.
Anyway, so we got. I don't know how we started talking about that.
We're doing a thing. Content. Something about some content.
So content marketing. So it's one of the reasons I know we started talking about this. So content marketing does actually tie back to things we were doing to build up to the fishing competition, right? Which is something YouTubers do all the time. Which is something people with a blog or a podcast or any of these outlets do. That's content. And if you have a business, content marketing works exactly the same way. It's not only one of the easiest forms of marketing, it's also one of the best, one of the most effective by far. So content marketing is basically the development and distribution of relevant, useful content, whether that is social media, YouTube, a blog, white papers. There's a lot of companies who don't want to create other content. They'll just write up a white paper, which is otherwise what in the old days they'd call printed collateral. They'll put it in PDF form, put it in a web page for download. All of this is content that spreads the message about your business. And in a way, that's what also these YouTubers were doing in the build-up to this. They make their own content, they build their audience, and it goes from there. So here's some stats that I think really, really drive this home. So businesses with blogs. Blogs. You think blogs are like old school and nobody reads blogs anymore. Get this. Businesses with blogs get 67% more leads than companies without. That's huge. 67% more leads? That's insane. So everybody who's ever been on LinkedIn, I promise you, has gotten cold contacts from people saying, "Oh, hello, my name is David, and I am from Michigan, and I will get you all the leads that you ever want." That's a Michigan accent. I'm doing a bad Michigan accent. I'm trying to, it sounds like a moose, sort of. I live in Michigan, and I will get you all the leads you possibly want. Well, they're lying, because first of all, they're cold contacting you. Second of all, we're telling you right now how to get all the leads you ever want. And it's not through cold contacting. I promise you that. David, I wasn't being inappropriate there.
Tell me why is somebody cold contacting me if they have access to all of these warm contacts?
Exactly. Look.
So now I'm going to be completely upfront and honest about that. That is actually a stolen line from none other than our bold print, West Carnahan, from a conversation we had. Oh, gee, we've actually had this conversation multiple times, but most recently, probably a few weeks ago. Mm-hmm. And And you like that. So I brought it up there because Wes name, they did the viewers here are noticing that Wes Carnahan has bold print and David Leffingwell's is not.
Wait, what?
On the screen where it comes up underneath you is a bold print and I'm regular print. I think mainly because
I didn't even notice that.
Name. You got to keep it.
I literally didn't even notice that. I apologize. It's because I'm way more important, frankly.
That's to be frank. I'm all right with that.
No, I will.
I'm all right with that because I can tell you guys this is a different cast if I'm in charge.
Oh, funny. Brandon Henderson actually brought that up. Brandon, I didn't even notice that, so I'll make a new card.
No, fix it. I think it's a great topic.
I'll make David
a great
really
little conversation piece there. But the multiple times and the number of times that you and I have talked about the people who that reach out and cold contact us. Mm-hmm. And say, hey, I've got a contact list for you that's a set of warm contacts. So why the hell are you cold contacting me if you know how to get warm contacts?
100%. Or it's like those infomercials where they say, oh, I made $100 billion last year. Let me tell you exactly how I did it. Just hang on a second. If it was that easy for you to make $1 billion last year, why are you telling me about it? Why don't you just go keep doing that?
Yeah. Yeah.
You know what I mean?
And I had this is a we're gonna call this an adjacent. It's not necessarily a tangent, but we're not gonna go chase around it. But I was on a call the other day, and you were talking about infomercials, and that's what got the gear going here. Mm-hmm. So I'm in a pretty high level meeting the other day. Tuesday. Yes.
It was yesterday.
So yeah, that's why it's so fresh in my head. I can remember all the details. So I'm in this meeting, right? And we're talking this pretty high level meetings. A lot of big people having biscuits and meetings. Got it. So they start using this doom and gloom of if the customers are still doing this in this archaic manner and they're pumping up all these fear and death, and if you don't do this, your hair's going to fall out.
Yeah,
kind of stuff. And it reminded me of those infomercials. The one that really stuck to me was basically this bag that you snapped over your cabinet door, and you stuffed your plastic bags you got from your grocers and whatnot in it. Or the organizer for your Tupperware lids, because when they open the door, all the bags come falling out from under the sink. Or when you open the cupboard door, all of the lids and bowls from your Tupperware fall over on you.
Right.
And have you had a hard time cutting your steak lately? And they're holding the blade of the knife and they're stabbing the thing in their hands and bleeding and all that. Basically, they get the absolute dumbest human beings in the world to try to act like even dumber human beings,
right?
On these infomercials, and that's what it felt like. And I'm sitting here the whole time going, "Please, dear God, do not let this person talk to a single actual customer."
Honestly, well, tell me, when you're telling that story, everybody watching is thinking of the episode of Friends where Joey is on the infomercial and he's trying to open a milk carton, and he just rips it open and milk splatters everywhere.
Well.
I know.
Wait.
Look.
Noodle soup.
There you go. Exactly.
I don't have a lot of Friends reference. I do know that they're in the apartment where was his name Joey lived. There was back over by the stove. There was a Hofbrauhaus beer stein.
Oh, was there?
Over in the corner in the background. So
I didn't know that.
That's actually about the depth of my Friends knowledge. I couldn't even tell you all the characters' names.
Well, look, that's a great reference. I didn't even know. I'll have to look for that. I haven't seen Friends in 15 or more years, but look.
I was just there last week, dude.
What?
But you said you haven't seen Friends in 15. I was like, whatever.
But
all right. Move back into the content there.
Businesses with blogs, 67% more leads than companies without. So, look, if your company doesn't have a blog, you got to think again. I'm telling you. 47% of buyers, customers who buy, view 3 to 5 pieces of content before engaging in a sale, engaging with a sales representative. So if you're selling a product, especially a high-ticket product, have content out there because people do their research. People don't just, it's not one of these things where if you build it, they will come. No, people do their research, especially if it's a high-ticket item. So 47% of buyers, people who buy, view 3 to 5 pieces of content, meaning if you don't have much content out there, they're going to say, oh, okay, neat. And they're going to go look at your competitor who does have content out there.
Now, I do have a question for you.
Yeah.
I have a question for you.
Sure.
Let's say I have 2 pieces of content and my competitor has 5 pieces of content.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think that the buyer is watching 3 to 5 of their content, or is my 2 counting towards them and giving my competitors, because I don't have the content, am I giving them a even bigger advantage by getting 2 of theirs knocked out of the way?
Yes.
Or let's say if I have 2 over here and they have 2 over there, and whoever they look at first that only has 2 pieces of content, they're going to buy from the second guy because that's their 4th bit of information. That's their most current, unless there's absolutely stark differences in product.
Yeah. Look, let's say hypothetically it's identical product, right? Or near identical.
All
product.
things being equal.
Right. You are doing yourself a disservice, and you're actually helping your competitor, because people are seeing your 2 pieces of content. They're saying, oh, neat, that's educational. They're going to your competitor who has 5 pieces of content. They're automatically assuming in the back of their heads, this company does more, and they know more, and they have more exposure to this, probably a little more reputable. I'm going to go with them. Here's the analogy that works perfectly. Amazon. On Amazon, there's a lot of white label products, meaning you see a lot of identical products under slightly different company names or under slightly different brand names. Now, let's say you have product A that has 100 reviews, 100 5-star reviews, 100 5-star perfect reviews, and 3 product photos, okay? Now, let's say you have product B, identical, maybe a different brand name, whatever, essentially identical product. They have 10,000 4-star reviews, and they have 10 product photos, and the customers add their own photos to those reviews because naturally that's what happens. People are going to buy this one with 10,000 reviews versus this 100 5-star perfect reviews. Why? Because they have more content up, they have more reviews up, which that goes into just general output and community involvement, which is a whole different episode. But you're doing yourself a disservice by having fewer pieces of content out than your competitor. You're actually helping them and hurting yourself.
Yeah. Brendan Henderson was making a comment over here as well. He's a huge research and review guy. The more I can find, the more it helps me make a decision. And I agree. I do the same thing. I look into a lot of stuff before I make a purchase, or I weigh a whole lot of stuff in the balance before I make a decision. I will torture myself with a decision for weeks and weeks and weeks, sometimes months, even for small products, before I take a step on things, just because every decision we make has such a huge impact. John Calendar, actually, I was getting ready to bring this up. John, I'm glad you're out there, and definitely glad you're interacting on this, because it's great. Because, John makes a comment, says, I wouldn't buy the product with the perfect reviews because most likely those are, they're all fake. #fake news, right? And I do the exact same thing. I always go look at what the 1-star reviews are, because I want to know what bad experiences it's been. And you know what I see a lot, especially with Amazon, is packaging damage, and shipping delays. Well, guess what, guys? Those aren't product reviews. That's service reviews.
Right. That's different.
Big difference. So and that's it. The more you get out there, and the more pictures and the more content that you can get through it, the better off it is. So what is the business to business marketing part of this?
So the B2B. Okay. So here's one. 72% of B2B, business to business marketers say that content marketing increases engagement and the numbers of leads they generate. So now this is anecdotal, because 72% of B2B marketers say that content increases engagement, but it's absolutely true. And I'll tell you why, because of a subject that we'll touch on a different show, which is SEO, search engine optimization. Now, look, the more content you put out, whether it's in blog form or on social media or whatever, when you put out the right content with the right, tags, with the right keywords, things like that associated with it, you are going to rank higher in the search engines. So naturally, you are also going to receive that much organic traffic. But at the same time, let's say you're a B2B, and let's say you're a salesman, and you reach out to somebody else, and let's say you cold contact. Guess what? Let's say you have a product that you know your cold contact is really, really going to be interested in. Guess what? Let's say you pique their interest, and they go and research you, and they find you. They're going to look at, guess what? Your content. They're going to look at your content. Even cold contact marketers need content. And here's the thing. Unknown Facebook user, whoever you are, thank you for this, says, is it true even small ticket items? Or would you say larger usually more pertinent? I'd say even small ticket items.
Yes, that is Elizabeth Henderson. That's Brandon Henderson's wife.
Okay.
Who, by the way, we owe a huge thank you to. I did thank her at the event on Sunday. She managed basically the entire raffle and all of the raffles that we had, and there was tons of stuff up there, and she managed all that. So thank you very much.
Yeah, thank you.
I agree with West. It is very true, even for small ticket items to me. I don't have to be spending tens of thousands of dollars or $1,000 or even $100 on a product before I want to go research it.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
There are certain things that I know that I'm willing to go take a bit more of a risk on and say, all right, for its value in my life versus what I'm paying for it, I'm ready to risk paying twice for it. Those are very few and far between purchases. When I get something, I try to get good quality. It has nothing to do with the price. It's all about the quality and to me, the value that it can bring to me. So when I go buy a lawnmower, or I go buy, something else for taking care of the house or things, there's a lot of research that goes into that. But even something as simple as I'm looking at a product right now called Kachava. It is
Kachava,
a meal replacement, a meal replacement product. Sure. And I'm looking at it and I'm digging into it. It's vegan, which everybody knows me. I'm a hardcore vegan. Except for meat. I love meat and steaks and chicken and all the things that make me absolutely not vegan. But it's a good, healthy mix.
Kachava is great. Kachava is good stuff.
And I'm looking. So see, right now I have another person says, hey, this is good stuff. But, looking at these items, and I've probably done already an hour to 2 hours of research, not just into Kachava, but their top competitors. What else could it be? What's going to be better suited for what I'm looking for? And Kachava still now looks like it's the top. So even though we're talking about a $35 purchase, I'm still going to do my research. I'm still going to look into it.
You absolutely should.
And I'm not just looking, all right, Kachava, I love your website. It's actually pretty cool. But guess where I immediately go? I see their website. The very first thing I do, YouTube.com, my friend. I'm over on YouTube.
Yeah, best review site online is YouTube. Say what you like about them. Look, every piece of content you could ever imagine. If you want to review any product, YouTube, that's where you go. But you're totally right. You're totally right, David.
Yeah.
So one more stat here that I think is really important. Companies that use content marketing see approximately 30% higher growth rates than businesses not using it.
But wait, did you say 25%?
No. But wait,
did you say
there's
26%?
More. Nope. 30%. 30% higher growth rates. Now, that's insane. And here's the thing. Look, it goes right, and this ties right back to the fishing competition in that YouTubers are just that. They're people who actually intend on building a business on this platform. Guess what? They put out content. People search their content. They find their content. Hopefully they like it. And their content is not just the product. It's actually their own form of marketing. So regardless of what business you're in, whether it's just building up a personal brand or actually trying to brand a product or a business, you need content marketing. And again, that can be anything. It can be a blog. It can be videos. It can be a podcast. It can be just a white paper that you put out there in the right audiences. So, I mean, if the stats that we just spat out didn't give you incentive enough, I mean, I don't know what will. We're going to go through, if we have time tonight, we'll go through all the key details, but content marketing is where it's at.
Yeah, it's huge. You're seeking in and looking, but my audience. Okay, I'm sorry, I got to sit back over here because Elizabeth Henderson has another comment here. Says, but let's see. I often teach my ladies to sell solutions to problems, not products themselves. Great. That's a great sales tactic. Solve a problem, not sell a product. That has been huge for a long time. I agree with that. You should always be trying to solve a problem.
Right. And here's
not just sell a product.
And she brings up an interesting point. So she's not necessarily interested in selling.
Wait a minute. Just so I'm getting excited here because we're finally moving out of marketing and into some sales stuff, which is where I actually wait a minute. We're going to put your letters, your name in small print, and my name in bold print. Because finally on this podcast, we're finally moving into things that's what I do. Those types of things of how to sell a problem or sell solutions. Actually, selling problems is not a bad idea either. We've seen it for years and years and years, and I love going up against companies that sell problems because if you're selling the solution, they'll take you every day of the week. But she goes on to say here that my audience is mostly Facebook, TikTok, struggle with Instagram. And she's not yet on YouTube, but you're convincing me to branch out. Now, all right, I know
we need to bring her on as a guest on the show.
West, I know that West gets a twitch when I completely derail his plans.
Wait, so like every Wednesday, you mean?
Literally every Wednesday after the show, he's like, "You son of a," and he just sits there and twitches in the corner and yells at me for an hour. But no, this is really good because we have talked many times about defining. What's the word I'm looking for, West?
Something to do with audience. So James Cameron made a great movie about it.
Yeah, that's what it is. Avatar. That's right.
That was it.
You need to define and talk and speak to your audience. Your audience, while you are on Facebook and TikTok, your audience might not be there. So you need to take time, Elizabeth, or Beth, or Liz, or Eliza, or whatever name you go by. Probably not. But anyway, you need to take your time and break down your customer avatar, basically your customer profile. Avatar is a name for it, and we talk about it a lot. You can actually get, and I'm gonna have Wes drop in the comments below here the link to our website so that you can get the toolbox, and it will have some of the stuff to it. Plus, it will have a link out because there's a website that we use to create. It's free, absolutely free. Everything we have in that thing is absolutely free for you to use. That will help you with it. Now, if your viewers or the people that you are trying to work with are in YouTube and YouTube's huge. Everybody knows YouTube, and we all go to YouTube to get help. So if you're there, that's great, and you can really, when you create your avatar and you build that customer profile, the more in depth you go, the better you're going to be able to speak to that person. Because I don't sell to West. I don't sell to anybody else. I sell to a problem. I sell to my avatar. And when I'm talking to when I'm in this specific avatar's box, West, I think, says it all the time. He doesn't talk to a frat boy the same way you talk to your grandma. And that's really what it boils down to, making sure you're talking to make sure you're resonating with who you're trying to speak with.
Right.
And it's not going to be the same across all demographics.
Absolutely. And it even goes so far as to say, look, let's say you don't feel comfortable talking to an audience, right? Well, guess what? You're not talking, when you build out a customer avatar, you're building out an individual. You give this person a name, you give them a gender, you give them a job, you give them kids, and you know everything about this person, because when you speak to this avatar, you're not speaking to your audience, you're speaking to Jane. You're speaking to John over here. And you're going to speak to that person significantly differently than how you'll speak to, this demographic of 10,000 people in the Midwest. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So building out your customer avatar is absolutely vital. And she says, Liz, LOL, thank you. So Liz,
okay.
I think we ought to have Liz on as a guest on the show.
Yeah, let's find out. Let's find out what she's talking about. She's talking about often teaching her ladies.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, is she a pimp? I don't know. I mean, she might be a pimp for all we know.
Maybe I
Teaching
don't
her
think
ladies how to
Liz
reach out through Facebook and TikTok. I don't know what she's doing.
Strike me as having a strong pimp hand, but you never know. People can surprise you.
How many pimps have you known, West?
Look, I'm not saying I've known pimps. I'm just saying.
I'm not saying I have.
I'm just saying when the pimp hand is strong, you know who the boss is. But let's get back to the topic. Let's get back to the topic here before we get in too much trouble.
It's gonna be me back now apologizing to all the pimps out in the world.
Yeah, exactly. Thank you, David.
All righty.
So it's funny.
Been apologizing to people recovering from alcoholism, so I might as well apologize to the pimps out there.
David, apologize to the pimp
all
community.
You pimps and hoes out there, I'm sorry.
And we just lost Facebook again. Okay.
If we haven't lost them at this point, I think we're safe.
So it's funny that you mentioned that you went right into customer
Pimps and
avatars.
hoes?
It's funny you went into pimps and hoes. It's funny you mentioned customer avatars because we're actually going to go into how to get started with content marketing. Let's say you have nothing and you never even thought about it. How you can get started with content marketing? Number one thing, the very first thing, identify your audience, which is building your customer avatar, right? So essentially what that is like David said, you need to build out who your ideal customer is. And we'll drop a link in the comments about giving you a free tool, absolutely free to do this. And it's a tool that tells you step by step, fill out the person's name, fill out their job, fill out their age, their gender, their this, their that. Because when you build out your ideal customer, you can speak to a person better than you're speaking to a demographic, right? It's completely different. So very first thing with content marketing, identify your audience. And in fact, I've been running an experiment on the side we'll get into in a future episode, and I'll show you the stats and the analytics from that to show you how to gain all of the very vital stats that you need to act upon who your ideal customer is, even if you don't think they are who you think they are right now. David, when we were looking at the analytics for this show, we were surprised at how the numbers were not what we expected.
There for a while, we really resonated with the 62 up female category.
How did that happen? But it happened.
It was huge. And then over time, it has kind of come down. We kind of almost have a 50-50 male female, and our age range has dropped dramatically off of that.
As we've introduced more booze.
Back when you were just nothing but cardigans and turtlenecks, man, that 62 and up.
Hey, don't knock the cardigans, man. Don't knock the cardigans. I got it going on. Ladies 62 years old and up love the cardigans, man.
That's right.
So the first thing, identify your audience. And in a future episode, we'll actually show you how to, after you create a customer avatar, over a period of time, to go back and look at your own analytics on social media and discover how to change your avatar. And it should change over time. As your brand grows, so will your avatar. It's naturally going to shift from this to that over time.
Also, just real quick, just before because we have a newer viewer here, I want to make sure you understand that you don't necessarily only have one avatar.
Absolutely, 100%.
Because you are either going to have different messages, or you're going to have different medium, or you're going to have different message and medium. And let's throw the word tone. I mean, there's the rhetoric that you're going to use.
Oh, yeah.
The body language.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, all of it is going to be different. Look at this little can. It's ridiculous. Let's just.
Are we looking at the little can or your giant hands?
Oh, look at this little can. So, we usually talk about the beer. So, I'm sorry. This actually is a tangent for those of you guys who are new to our channel. We do talk an awful lot about beer. This is one that both West and I have drank at separate times. Yours was in the Christmas spirit for your Advent calendar you got from the Brewdog, and I'm drinking mine now. What did you think of it?
I thought it was great. Look, it's not one that I would drink. I wouldn't buy like a case of this stuff. but
Yeah.
I thought it was pretty tasty. I thought it was a great experiment, and I'm glad that I tried it. But you know what? I've had much better. Actually, I still have the can of my favorite one. I think this is that's not it. My favorite one was like a Christmas chocolate cherry stout they had, and that might have been the best beer I've ever had in my life.
Oh yeah, you were going on and on about that.
BrewDog has some amazing beers.
So just we have it there. I'm gonna hold up here. I can't see this. Hold on a second. I got the wrong screen up.
Well, I'll share my screen.
All right,
what are you trying to show us, David?
There we go, right there. 12 fluid ounces.
Yep.
Just for those out there.
Gotcha. Now you're out of focus.
Just so that okay. Oh, am I out of focus? Here we go. How about that?
Now you're back.
And we're back now. So just there. I mean, that's just a little teeny tiny.
Yeah.
But my review on the beer. I'm going to throw it up there with you. It is a little hoppier. It is an IPA style beer.
Right. I'm not an IPA guy, so for an IPA, I thought it was fine. I wouldn't order a bunch of them.
For both of us, neither one of us are IPA people. Yes, we that's a well established. But as far as IPAs go, it's not terribly strong on the nose.
Right.
It does have that initial. I mean, you can smell the hops, and it does have that initial wash over the tongue.
Right.
That definitely is hop. Yes, John Calendar. It is definitely hop forward on that. But unlike other IPAs, it doesn't bite you in the back. It doesn't get you back here. It gets you right across the top of the tongue, and then it kind of washes back. So it's almost a. I would, if you wanted to put some real basic terms to it, maybe a thinned out IPA.
Well, so
it's not that hard to drink. I wouldn't want a case of it. I agree with that.
So, David, you and I often talk about the fact that a lot of breweries, the reason most craft breweries push out so many IPAs is because IPAs are easy to cover up mistakes in the brewing process.
Yes.
When you get a skunky beer...
They are very flexible, yes.
When you get a skunky beer, guess what? You throw the hops in there like crazy. You just made yourself a good IPA. Forget about the bad beer. But I think of all of them, BrewDog does IPAs the right way in that most of them aren't like burn your teeth out of your mouth hoppiness. Most of them actually have, like Elvis juice, right? Is actually a really good citrus IPA.
So neither one of us are IPA drinkers. Both of us will absolutely get lights out clattered on Elvis juice.
Yeah.
I mean, it is a great beer. So if you guys haven't tried it, just for those of you out there, I know that one of our fishing guys had a birthday, I think today, and so he turned 21 years old today. So happy birthday to you! I don't know which one it was.
We have a young audience.
For those of you guys who enjoy some real good humor, I've got them on Messenger here, and they are like a group of teenage girls, first time texting. And so West and I both had to mute the conversations because they will talk about fishing
all
until
night and day.
2, 3 in the morning, and then they get up. These people are off that day, these people are off this day, and it's just nonstop talk about fishing. These guys are hardcore at it.
They love to fish.
But you know what? These guys raised almost
about $6,000. Yeah.
For them. So you can't knock that, man.
Yeah. Oh,
that's
incredible.
Great.
So, but look, so before we get back to the main topic, John Calendar, you're totally right. BrewDog does need to start moving some more non-hop forward beers. I could not agree more. However, that's also they're also a brewery that has other non-IPA beers. They also own Hawks Brewery, which is all ciders. They have Overworks, which is their sour brewery on site. They have a lot of non-hop forward beers, but they also push a lot of hoppy beers. Which, look, in my opinion, this is my humble opinion. I think most people who like order an IPA don't actually like beer that much. They just order an IPA so they sound cool.
So and it gets me. Okay, here we go. Now we're down.
Now we're down this rabbit hole.
Now we're down.
Oh boy, here we go.
So I'll go out to places and I'll be like, "What do you have on tap?" And they'll rattle off 6 beers and 5 of them are IPAs. I'm like, "Gee, at Christmas." I guess I'll have the other things on IPAs. Like, why don't you guys have some more beverages? Well, that's what sells. I'm like, I'm going to drink 3 to 4 of these.
Right. Versus
in the
one.
time that the guy drinks 2.
Right.
Of these.
Mm-hmm.
What do you think is actually going to sell better? What do you think
Right.
is actually going to move? You have beer out there that doesn't bite me back. I'm going to drink it. I literally drink beer by the liter. That's how beer is served properly.
Well, look at Hofbrauhaus. They almost never have hop forward beers. Almost never.
Yeah. Yeah, you get what? The Hopfeweizen, and you get the Hopfen Special.
And that's it.
Special.
And even those are not super hoppy.
Yes, and they're very. If you drink beer, you could tolerate them. You may not be like, you may go, okay, this is. I'm gonna have 1/2 a liter or 1 liter of this beer, and fine. Me, I'm like, all right, I'm never gonna not give a beer a liter from Hofbrauhaus. Period. It's so easy to drink. So anyway, let's try to get back to our hard left turn.
Hard left turn.
Left turn here. So I actually found a thing on the interwebs today.
Okay.
Talking about this exact thing, and I was reading through it, and they have a great way of saying it too. Where we say avatar a lot, they use it as audience personas.
Yeah, people call it. You'll hear it persona. You'll hear avatar. You'll hear just any number of things. Just identifying your customer. So it's all essentially the same thing. And there are a lot of tools out there to tell you how to do it. But I'm telling you, big companies, and David, you and I have worked for some ridiculously large companies. These companies spend millions of dollars with agencies specifically to build out their customer avatars. And what's funny is, I was with a company, and their customer avatar was named Jenny because their largest demographic in their audience was female, and the largest number of first names in their database was Jennifer. So they called their customer avatar Jenny. And we're sitting in these board meetings and executive level meetings, and these executives and board members are talking about the customer base of millions of people, tens of millions of people.
Wait. What does Jenny think about this?
Exactly. And they're thinking, so what would Jenny think about this? What would Jennifer think about this? What would Jenny think about, this type of campaign here? They're talking to a person. They're not talking to 40 million people, which
Just
is how big
sure
the
that
database
everybody
was.
understands this. We are telling you that's how you should be.
Right.
That's how you should be acting. When you give a name, so that company had Jenny. For us, for a while there, we're going to call her Margaret because, our demographic was old. So that's who we're speaking to. So, and we didn't actually do that. That's a joke, by the way. So if we name it, and as we're conversing, we need to be talking, and you need to be talking about it as well, as if that is the person that you are speaking to. Because guess what? That's the person you're speaking to. They may have a different name. They may be a little bit of this, a little bit. Of course.
Jenny Carlson chimes in and says, "Yeah, it sounds good to me."
Sounds good to her.
She's a little biased.
Yes.
Jenny Carlson.
I'm questioning her motives on that. So, but as you're speaking to, once you create your avatar, Elizabeth, Liz, she goes by Liz. Once you create your avatar, start calling them, give them a name. And when you go back and watch wait a minute, what episode are we on now?
Number 97.
97.
We're almost at 100 episodes.
Other 96 episodes of the Underdog Journey. And you'll see there, we have talked about it in several instances.
We have.
When you create your avatar, you're not just saying 27-year-old female, 1 kid engaged, blah, 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 name is Phyllis. No, we want you to give that person a backstory and pull them into your world and pull yourself into their world. And the richer the backstory, the richer the detail you can get, the more specific you can target it. Mm-hmm. The old days of spray and pray, that's gone. That's done. Anybody who's doing that, you've got issues, because the analytics that's provided to you for free just off of just social media that you can do your marketing campaigns off of leaves you no room to be able to do something as frivolous as, I'm blasting a general message and I want to pick up a little bit of this, a little bit of this, a little bit of this, a little bit of this. No. You should be able to tender your marketing and your efforts and your revenue, especially your investment, your money, into a very specific, very tight window,
Right.
and get an excellent return. We talk about it all the time. It's called the 80-20 rule.
Yeah.
So go back and watch. You got Liz, you got a lot of homework to do.
Absolutely. So, that was
whatever. I mean, gee, many Christmas, we're almost to 100.
Look, we're almost to 100 episodes. So on our 100, this is a huge tangent here, but we need to do something major for our 100th episode. And
a calendar says party for the 100.
David, you need to come back down to Columbus. We need to go to Hofbrau House. Here's what we need to do. We need to break into our old stomping grounds of our original streaming location. Episode number 1.
I might still have a contact over there, my buddy Mike, who owns that business.
Yeah.
And I might say, hey, you know what? We started it here. We'd love to host our 100th here.
Yeah.
Would you mind? Can you hook me up for the day? And I doubt that he'd say no. But,
I think that'd be amazing.
It's absolutely no harm or foul to ask.
You gotta ask. So, worst case scenario, let's go to Hofbrau. But best case scenario, let's go to our original streaming location.
I get it. And I'm with you to a point. There's gonna be a little conversation about, especially after the show tonight, because how much? We can throw a decent party. We can have our show, throw a party, and go somewhere else. Or we can broadcast live from the stage at the Hofbrau House in Columbus.
You're out of focus again.
And just, it's a thing here.
Because you do a lot of this. You bring your hands really close to the camera here.
I move. I do stuff. All right.
You're very dynamic. Yes.
Yes. I'm very fluid. Luckily, I'll see it all the time. I see people in meetings with biscuits, and I'll be up there talking. I do a lot of stuff. I walk around. I engage with the room, and they're all the time. They'll adjust their glasses, lean back, sit forward, and because as they move around, I go talk to them and interact with them. So that's a sales thing. We'll talk about that some other time on a different show. But I think the party that we could have at Hofbrau would be a lot bigger than the party we could have back in our original stomping grounds. Now, I wouldn't mind going and shooting some promos there, or at least maybe doing part of the show there, and then I don't know. Say, all right, guys, we'll see you back for a brief intermission, and then run down to the Hofbrau House and do it from there. I don't know.
Well,
we'll figure something out.
I'll
give you that.
Let's at least shoot a promo at the original video location, and then we can go do something big at Hofbrau. Look, maybe we can raise some money. We do have some fundraising experience to do a private keg tapping and live stream a podcast from there.
Yeah, I'm on board with that. The only thing I have now is timing.
True.
We are kind of short on time.
That's
so
true.
And
here's the funny thing people don't think about the private keg tapping is it actually takes time to actually brew the beer.
Yes.
And ferment the beer for a keg tapping. So we'll plan something big. 100th episode is going to be huge. We're on number 97 today. But we're over an hour now.
That means we're only 3 hours. That means we're only 3 weeks away. 3 weeks is not a lot of time.
That is not.
To say extravaganza. So I don't think a charity thing or a fundraiser thing's in the books, but we'll see how it works out. We'll see something. We'll get something.
Hey, Jeff Leffingwell, as much as I agree with you, we're not allowed to say that online.
Yeah, we can't say that. Whether we agree with you or not.
Whether we agree with you or not, we're not allowed to say that online.
Yeah, we're not allowed to say that online. We're very particular about things that can get us booted. So we no longer say Cambridge Analytica.
We just lost Facebook. We just lost. Oh man.
Oh wait, that's my water. I don't want to put beer in my water. That'd be terrible. What a waste of beer.
Yeah, come on, man. Amateur hour
over here. Well, I was trying to do it without looking, and it did not work out well. So there we are. So, and we're back. We literally, you guys don't even know this, but we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14 major bullet points, and each one of them have 2 to 3 to 4 sub bullet points on our agenda for this evening.
Look, I am thorough with my agendas.
He is very thorough, very, very thorough with the agendas. Oh, there's no need to apologize. We just avoid that kind of stuff. But I don't disagree, or maybe I do.
Look, it's I have many opinions on many things,
Yes.
But David, as we always say, unless your business is politics, keep
Stay out of
politics out of your business.
Yes. So
Plain and
actually,
simple.
Jeff is watching, and I want to give a big shout out to Jeff because when I was, I don't know, I was a teenager, maybe 14, probably 14 to 15 or something along those lines. Jeff had talked to me. He was pouring himself a beer, and he poured it in a glass, and he told me that, that a beer or anything would taste better poured out of its bottle and poured into a glass.
And that's true.
And as you can see, I just poured my bottle into my glass because for reasons that deal with carbon dioxide, I'd rather have that carbon dioxide released in this here beer stein. Look at that. We're going to shake it up a little bit here.
Well, so it's not necessarily the release of the carbon dioxide. It's the fact that it's actually for the fact that the olfactory system works as a whole, and when you're drinking out of let's say, hang on, I got a big bottle here because I might have a problem. I don't know, but when you drink out of a bottle, guess what? You can taste it with your tongue and your palate, and that's fine. But that's only half of the experience. When you pour it into a glass, your nose goes into the glass. The aroma gets into your olfactory system. And that's half the flavor right there. Honestly, it is. And you go to any wine tasting, they'll tell you, get your nose into the glass. You need to get the aroma up into your system.
Yes.
It's a whole beer is exactly the same way.
Absolutely. There is the Glencairn. The Glencairn glass, for those of you who drink bourbons and whiskeys and things, the Glencairn glass is designed. Some of us actually call it the sniffer. You get your nose in because it brings the scent in and then opens up, so you can get right into it and smell. That's what I'll talk about when I talk about the beers. Like when I was talking about the our Iron Maiden Hellcat. How it was on the nose. That was one of my first comments. Was it does have a hop on the nose. It's there. It does say IPA, but then it moves on because it does all operate as a whole system. And so your flavor profile will be affected by what your nose is bringing in. And it's very, very, very important to take it all. So, I actually went through a learning session to teach me how to drink beer.
Well, you're in the process of becoming a Cicerone, am I correct?
Yes, I'm still in the process of becoming a Cicerone. I will probably have my level 1 Cicerone out of 4. So technically there's 3. So the level that I'm starting on is called the server. So I will be a level 1 Cicerone certified beer server. And then I will move into a level 2 Cicerone, and then it'll be level 3. And I think it's level 3, level 4.
Level 4 is Master
I get
Cicerone.
the certified server, then level 1, level 2, level 3. It's a thing. But just to put this into context, there are 19 level 3 or 4, whichever the highest one is.
That's Master Cicerone. There's 19.
Wait, we got to do Jeremy Clarkson. Jeremy Clarkson from Top Gear on this. In the world.
Well, yeah.
19 Master Cicerones in the world. And every one of them and all the people who go for this are in the industry. It is just not something some random guy's like, oh, hey, I want to go get the certification.
Yeah, James Watt of Brewdog is one of the 19.
This nut job here. Yeah, James Watt, yeah.
The guy that we had drinks with at the Hofbrauhaus.
No.
Or not Hofbrau, at Brewdog. At
Brewdog.
Sorry, I'm getting my beer.
And how did that happen? How many times did you think we were going to get thrown out that night?
Literally, at any given point, I thought we'd be thrown out. All night, I'm like, okay, is now the time? Wait, hang on. Dave spoke. Is now the time?
Yes, all the night. We're sitting over there. He's like, oh, that's James. Hey, Dave, that's James Watt over there. I'm like, let's go drink with him. Think you could get us thrown out of here? Let's go. Bring it. And man, we had an epic night.
It was a cool night.
We have all kinds of stuff there. How many times did I ask the CEO of their company what the hell he did? Oh, what do you do here? I'm the CEO. Oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
And it kept we're talking to the Nano Dog brewer,
Yeah, Nick.
and James Watt and some other guys, and I go back, oh hey, what do you do? I'm the CEO. All right, yeah.
Yes, it's David, myself, the CEO of the company, one of the two founders of the company, James Watt, a lady at the end of the table, and the head brewer of Nano Dog at this table. And the whole night, I'm just like sweating bullets, thinking we're gonna get thrown out of this place. We should not be at this table. It was a fun night, man.
We had a blast. We didn't have any issues at
No.
all. Nobody had a problem. We had just a sweet kick-ass time. It was great. So basically, the moral of that story is you don't get if you don't ask. So
That's true.
To apply it back to kind of what we're talking about here.
Yeah.
If you don't take that step to reach out and make contact with your customers, with your friends, with your family, with your idols, your business idols, such as what Wes was. I mean, that was his,
James.
that was somebody that he really wanted to meet. And you know what? We didn't just meet him. We freaking got drunk with him. I mean, so
James Watt is one of my business idols. I actually have a book here,
Yeah.
Business for Punks from James Watt.
Yeah.
Since we were there, we also have another book here, Craft Beer for Punks, or Craft Beer for
Yes.
Geeks. It's autographed by James Watt.
Now, why was it autographed? Because there was some random person in the audience that, as he was leaving stage, I'm like, dude, I want you to sign my book. So I went and got his autograph, and then behind me, everybody started lining up, but everybody was just going to walk by. Nobody was going to talk to this guy. Everybody's just going to go by. And you got to be able to take that leap. It's scary sometimes, but you got to do it.
And here's the funny thing about this book. It says, so it's signed to my wife and I, because I told him my wife and I were huge fans of his. It says, to Kirsten and West, please do not sell this signed copy on eBay. Another couple called Kirsten and West. James Watt. That dude is awesome.
I've got mine. Hold on a second. I'm going to take my ears off real quick. I'll be right back.
So while David can't hear us, we do have to say that everybody who is watching and listening right now, I apologize for this drunkard over here. He's a wonderful man. But anyway, David, we were just saying great things about you.
I'm sure that you were. Sorry, it was hidden behind my my Ultimate Guitar book here. But no, yeah, I've got mine.
You got yours too, yeah.
Yeah, let's see here. And it's autographed somewhere in the book. Now, what were you saying right here? It's to David. Love hops and live the dream. James Watt.
That's awesome.
Love hops and live the
dream. That was a fun night. And to your point, you're right. If you don't take the risk, you don't get the reward. If you don't ask, you don't get.
You don't knock, the door shall not be open unto thee.
Absolutely. So take that risk. And
very, very inside reference there for those select few.
The select few. But the point is, look, take the risk, get the reward. The worst thing that can happen, worst thing that could have happened, James Watt could have said no. The worst thing that can happen to you when you reach out, somebody says no. Guess what? You move on.
Yeah, you move on. So I help companies right now. I help companies build their businesses. That's literally my job. And, I have a thing for a specific position when they come in and, they say, hey, who am I looking for? I'm looking to hire somebody for this role. Who am I looking for? It's like, you need the guy who's going to have the door slammed in his face 500 times in a day and then be just as excited to knock on door 501.
Yeah, totally.
Excuse me. It's a tough way to go. But for that specific role, that's what they need. And I'm actually heading over to Boston here next week to work with one of these people they hired off of my recommendation after I showed them who they needed to get to teach them. And I'm actually going to be running out in the field with them. I'm going to be working in the office with them. I'm literally going to be help training this guy up to work for this company so that he can go make me all kinds of money.
Sure. Hey,
so he can go make them a lot of money, and which in turn, helps me out as well.
Would you say that you're shipping up to Boston?
I'm shipping up to Boston. Yeah.
And we just got flagged on Facebook.
To find my wooden leg.
Oh, speaking
So
of which, you can't play that song on any
But they
medium.
can't refuse us the rights to sing it.
Maybe we should just do like a spoken word version. That's it.
Yes. So for you guys who don't get the reference on that, I tried to get Shipping Up to Boston by the Dropkick Murphys to be allowed to be played on our podcast, specifically on the December 16th episode, which we broadcast from Boston.
From the Green Dragon.
Where they planned the Boston Tea Party on the anniversary of the Boston Tea Party.
That was amazing.
And unfortunately, the family who is the owners of the works from the guy who wrote the lyrics they very rarely license anything out.
Right.
And they will not license that song to podcast.
Yeah. And it's not.
I did have some good conversations with the manager, and I'm still working my way through their stuff. But because of the MFB, speaking of which, and now here we go.
The MFB, who did this incredible song for us.
MFB, who has a wonderful song for us called "Funkin' Up the Neighborhood," is in the midst of releasing a new song called "Big Booty Judy."
Very family-friendly song. I think it's going to be on the next episode of Sesame Street.
It is actually based a whole lot around a family.
Big Booty Judy.
Big Booty Judy. They were just shooting.
Don't Google that, by the way.
For it.
Okay.
They were just shooting the video for it over the past week, 2 weeks, maybe 3, and I got a sneak peek preview of the. They've got a couple scenes left to shoot. But I've got a preview of the whole thing, but just missing those couple scenes that they've got to cut in. And I'll tell you, it's fun to listen to.
Yeah.
And it's fun to watch. Just like if you guys go watch Funkle Sam from the MFB.
So Funkle Sam is the lead singer of the MFB. Funkle Sam.
The main singer, Funkle Sam. Yeah, the main singer of the MFB, Funkle Sam. If you go watch the Funkin' Up the Neighborhood video, which I recommend everybody do. I mean, please do. This supports somebody who supports us, and it kind of runs a story throughout. Big Booty Judy is exactly the same. It runs a story throughout, so it goes along with the music. It's a great production, and absolutely I went and bought the whole damn album because I'm like, there's no reason to not do it, not support somebody who's supporting us. So we thank them every chance we can get, because I mean,
well, they're a great band, legitimately.
It's a blast.
So they play so it's the opening song to the podcast here.
Oh, okay. Wait a minute. I have a thing here. I have been challenged. We have a challenge.
Okay.
From Jenny's Pleasure Bus.
Oh, I don't see this in the comments. Okay.
It won't be.
Jenny's Pleasure Bus.
So Jenny's Pleasure Bus. So this is the Jenny avatar that we're talking about earlier. She's giving herself a petty. She says without saying it flat out. Never mind, I didn't say that. Basically, she wants to know what color she should paint her toes. So
comment down below what color you think.
Votes in the comments here, and that's what color her toes go.
Yeah, so comment down below what color you think this lady should paint her toenails. We'd love to hear from you. This is a big part of our show.
Yeah, well, I probably should have read all that beforehand.
Maybe
now I think I might be in trouble.
Maybe private comments we should maybe vet ahead of time.
Just all right. You know what? Some you win, some you lose, some you get drunk and move on with. But that's just how it goes.
We have two. We have two for purple. Jeff Leffingwell and John Callender both say purple. I would have said blue,
purple,
so I think we're going for
the. Good.
Yeah, I think purple's good. I would have said blue. But I would love to hear what direction she eventually went with. I'm on the edge of my seat here.
Yes, I would ask for pictures, but I believe that belongs on the OnlyFans page.
Look.
Ladies and gentlemen, that's called a callback in comedy.
Liz, the unknown YouTube user says, "Big Booty Blue." So Big Booty Blue. This show is going way off the rails, David. What did you start?
If there are rails, we are no longer on them.
Oh, man. This is what happens towards the end of our show every single time as I take a drink of my adult beverage.
So, yeah. Yes, indeed. So what's crazy is, we've still got tons of content to go over on this very topic. well, not this topic, but not the topic of what nail polish random people that anybody should be using out there. So, oh no, she's got a comment here. So, well, this didn't get awkward at all.
Thanks,
I
Jenny.
think you took this contact way out of context. Yes, in fact, I absolutely did. So that's I'm gonna raise my hand on that one and go. That was me.
Yep. Look. It's it made for some interesting color commentary. No pun intended. Okay.
Big booty blue 3 times. That's what Jeff Leffingwell says. Big booty blue. So purple one. You got to paint your toes purple. Moving on with life. We've got quite a bit of content still to cover in this episode, or not in this episode.
Not this episode. Next episode.
On the next episode of the Underdog Journey. The rest of the last episode.
So, yeah, not this episode, but possibly the next episode of the Underdog Journey. So, here's the layout. So the next episode of the Underdog Journey, we're going to continue on content marketing. We're going to tell you exactly, step by step, how to build a content marketing strategy to build, again, personal brand, selling a product, literally anything you want. We might even have Scotty Evans come on to talk about his new product he's about to launch. But here's something interesting. So, David, this
is Scotty Evans. We have a new person named Scotty.
You know Scotty?
Stevie
Evans.
So I'm talking about people's toenail finger paint on
Stevie Evans
on the show. You're getting people's names completely wrong.
So Stevie Evans.
Jimmy Hetfield.
All right. Well, Jimmy Hetfield and I are best buddies. I didn't know he had a drinking problem. But
he's literally from Metallica. The nickname of the band was Alcoholica. For the love of Pete, yes,
I'm an innocent soul. I don't know these things. I assume they're just having fun. They're a garage band, for Pete's sake. But here's something that I hinted on. We actually have on the schedule now for June 1st. Not January. June 1st. We actually have a Disney Imagineer coming on, talking about his entry into the field, his work in special effects in movies in the past, and what he's doing with Disney right now, and how he's working, how he worked through the whole pandemic thing, if I can say that word now, up until current, and how that all works. Yeah. And this man has some amazing stories. Like, it's incredible. And I know you and your current wife are huge Disney nerds, so this should be a lot of fun for you guys as well.
Yeah. Yeah, it should be an interesting show. We're going to be very excited about it. I actually, forgetting anybody else outside, the Imagineering part of Disney is very, very cool. It's interesting. It's intriguing. There's a lot of stuff that goes into it. If I were to ever leave the life safety industry, that level of engineering is kind of where I'd want to go. If I went ahead and went back into the engineering route, I think it'd be really, really, really awesome. And I can't wait to talk to him. And to be honest, I can't wait until you release where you made contact from him. I think that's going to be a great show and a great topic as well.
That's going to be a lot of fun. Look, I have a lot of information that I collected from that experiment, that project. And look, it was so much fun. I'll probably continue on and keep doing it because it was fun.
I mean, why not? I mean, it looks a blast.
Yeah. So you got a fly in your room? What are you doing there?
I don't know. It was like a fly, but it was a piece of dust, but it literally just made a beeline across. I'm like, what the? I was like, oh, is there a fly? Is it already that warm out here in the tundra of upstate New York?
Well,
but
David,
no, it was a piece of dust that went by.
You do know the government's releasing information on UFOs just this week. So is there a UFO in your room? I have to ask.
I cannot confirm or deny that statement. We'll have to get back to you when we have the bandwidth. Sorry, we'll have to circle back to you when we have the bandwidth.
Further, I have to ask, David, if there's a UFO in your room, what color nail polish is it wearing?
It's purple.
Purple?
You know what? It's gonna no. It's just gonna match my outfit.
So pink?
Sure, let's go with that.
All right. Look, we've been going for an hour and a half. I think it's about time to call this a day.
I think we've just about screwed this up as much as we can. Great. So we talked about audience personas, positioning your brand, marketing content, mission, business cases, and action plans. That's great. Hope you guys learned a lot from this. We didn't talk about any except one of those, and we'll get to the rest of them over next week, plus all the topics that West actually has brought up for this. We can't wait to talk to you again, and we'll see you next week for number 98, correct?
Man, number 98 next week. It has been
98.
An amazing underdog journey.
Yeah, just to put this in perspective, when we say we're episode 98, we do this every week. 98 weeks in a row.
In a row. Whether we're sick,
in a row.
we've been on vacation, still doing this with our current wives complaining in the background.
From
It's
the
been a whole
ocean.
thing.
I did it from the ocean earlier this year.
I did it from the ocean. I did it from Hilton Head not too long ago.
Yeah, you did it from Hilton Head. I did it from a cruise ship, sailing past Hilton Head. We make it happen. 98 weeks in a row. My daughter, for some reason, has absolutely commandeered my shirt that says "Consistency over time equals success." For some reason, she loves that shirt, so she has stolen it and she allows me to borrow it from time to time.
She has good taste, is what it is.
I happen to agree with that. So that's where we are, and that's who we are. 98 weeks in a row, or 97 weeks in a row.
Yes.
The Underdog Journey. Next week, we'll see you same bat time, same bat channel. And we're going to get through, hopefully, the rest of our topics next week. John Calendar does make a point. It hasn't all been Wednesdays. Yeah, but
it's been every
had
week.
to shift to some Thursdays a couple times. I think our National Corvette Museum was a Thursday night. Boston Tea Party thing was a Thursday.
Yeah, so occasionally we shift to Thursdays, but it has been every week, so we have not missed a week. We'll say that much. But look, in the meantime, we'll see you next week, Wednesday, 7 p.m. Eastern on Facebook and YouTube. I've been West. This guy has been David. You guys have been amazing, and we will see you next time.
Are we out?
Basically infatuated with the in-between, the ups and downs, the curves and the rounds. I'll bring it to your city or your hometown. I'll go back in time when the feeling was fine, when funkin' was legal and it wasn't a crime. Party people lined up and down the way, a bigger celebration than your birthday. Funkin' up the neighborhood, I felt the fool 'cause the funkin' was good. Funk you in the city, funk you up in the woods. Funkin' up the neighborhood. And I have seen the world pristine, funk you up in the bushes, funk you down in the trees. Now look around, all the frowns, the yellow, the white, the red, and the brown. And keep in mind, it never costs a dime, 'cause funkin' is free, I remember the time. Now look today, the streets are gray, time to take it back to yesterday. Funkin' in the neighborhood, I felt the fool 'cause the funk was good. Funk you in the city, funk you up in the woods. Funkin' up the neighborhood, funkin' up the neighborhood, I felt the fool neighborhood. I felt full cause the funkin' was good. Funk you in the city, funk you up in the woods. Funkin' up the neighborhood. Funkin' up the neighborhood. I felt full cause the funkin' was good. Funk you in the city, funk you up in the woods. Funkin' up the neighborhood.